podcast. Rolling the field with Field Gen 007 and Rolls Royce. We got Rolls Royce back with us. How's it going?
What's up? What's up? It's going well. How are you?
Oh, we're doing pretty good. We're still avoiding the corona. We're going to talk about a lot to cover right now. A lot's going on in the SML. Things have changed pretty quickly. The whole landscape, if we go back a few weeks here, and I think it was crunching the numbers where QB Stud talked about pretty much guaranteeing his perfect season. It seems like when you do that, and they've talked about, was it Mercury Morris, the running back for the Dolphins, on the 72 Dolphins? I can't remember. Like when the Patriots were having their undefeated run back in '07, and he talked about being on the block. Well, don't talk about me on my block. Talk to me when you're on the front door. And a lot of these guys talk about the undefeated season and they wind up fucking themselves. So QB Stud literally opened his mouth, put his foot in there, and just, I don't know, it got the announcer's curse. I mean, his season was going so well. He played a guy by the name of Field General 007. Pretty close game. The Patriots couldn't get it done. They had a last second heave, and the Texans held out. And then they had a game against the Jets. And very similar, unexpected result because this team is supposed to be undefeated. The Jets came out with the win. So since you were the other team that was able to defeat the Patriots, kind of what happened in that game? What did you see? From the little bit of it at the end that I saw, you were having a pretty easy time of running the ball. And maybe that was just a few plays I saw at the end. But just kind of break that game down.
Oh yeah, I could not run the ball at all until
Okay.
that fourth quarter. But I think I forced 5 or 6 turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
2 or 3 on the. I got like 2 or 3 picks on the goal line. I ended up taking 1 for 6 at halftime to tie it up. So my defense led that game. Bell, I think Bell might have gone over 100 just because of that last
Yeah.
quarter. But he was only at like 30 yards up until the fourth quarter, and Kyler Murray threw for 93 yards. So my offense did nothing. That entire game was set up by my defense.
And what do you typically favor on defense? Are you more of a zone guy with just a little bit of man, or are you pretty well mixed?
Um, I'm way more of a zone person.
Yeah.
Especially with this team, just because my cornerbacks aren't fast enough. And high enough overall to play man.
How did
So
you feel that you contained his receivers? Because I think he's got two X Factor wide receivers out there. How did you contain them, or did you?
um, the easiest thing to do is just swat the ball from them. Just
Right.
like my superstar wide receiver. He when I drafted him, he had A minus spec catch. But if you swat the ball 99% of the time, your receiver's not gonna come down with it.
Yeah.
So swatting it, and I know what he likes to run for his routes because I've played him so much
Right.
that I know like how to stop those specific routes.
Yeah, not a very good game from a stat standpoint. 17 to 14, but it was one of those grinded out division games. Goff 10 to 16, a buck 85, 2 TDs, 3 interceptions. His running back, who did not have a very good game against me, had 10 carries, 77 yards, no TDs, and Sutton only 2 catches, 67 yards, and a touchdown. My takeaway was he likes post routes. He likes
Yep.
moving the pocket to the right, throwing
Yep.
the corner routes. He loves throwing high point. Maybe he's not throwing high points. Maybe it just happens to be a high ball often, but it seems like he's throwing high point passes. Uh, and obviously his defensive line is really good. He had 4 sacks with Red. Um,
I don't even want to talk about that.
yeah, so
That was
the
absurd.
key is you got to get rid of the ball quick on offense. Take your check downs. Be patient with the running game. 16 carries, a buck 49 for Bell. Really ugly game, but a nice win. What do you think is going forward? Since he was the self-proclaimed best team in the AFC, who will be the best team in the AFC after this season?
Um, with Conk's players suspended, I know he just beat Meats. But
Why
I'm
did Cox
honestly
players
gonna.
get suspended?
I don't know.
Oh,
He's probably doing some cheese.
okay, fair enough.
Uh,
Conk, bad boy.
um, but I honestly I would say either me or Prime, and yeah, I'm
Yeah,
throwing that out on a limb.
okay. Um, I guess we need to talk about the NFC. You got two teams that are going for number one, and they're in the same division. They both have very similar records. The Grams with the Dallas Cowboys 7-1 according to Daddy Leagues, and the Redskins Sunday Squad 8-1 with the Washington Redskins. Sunday Squad is averaging 32 points per game on offense and only allowing 10 points per game on defense. Grams is averaging 27 points on offense and only allowing 15 points on defense. So two very good teams at scoring, yet two very stingy defenses in terms of points. It looks like, and they're not really getting up that many yards either. Grams is only allowing 216 yards a game, it's second best in the league, and the Redskins are only allowing 204, which is fourth best. However, Sunday Squad is averaging 32 points per game. His yards are they're outside of the top 10, so that's kind of an outlier there. You'd expect his yards to be way up as well. Out of these two teams, from what you've seen, who is the best team in the NFC?
I would say Grams, especially because Sunday even admitted that Grams is the only player he hasn't beat, or I don't know if they played that second time yet.
Right.
But after that first time, Grams was the only person he hasn't beaten yet. So I would say Grams definitely has the upper hand. But part of the reason why, going back to that outlier, is because his defense is so good. Like my team specifically, my defense sets my offense up well normally most of the time. So I think this is the same thing for him. He doesn't get a lot of yards because his defense sets him up in prime position to score.
Okay. And just from looking at the roster standpoint, they're both pretty equal in terms of having really good players. The Redskins, Sweet, which I think is, or Sweat, Montez Sweat, or Sweet, I'm not sure how you would say it, is 95 overall. Darius Geis is running back, 93 overall. Ochena Nawasawa is 92 overall. Landon Collins, 91 overall. The quarterback, Haskins Jr., 89. And then, of course, the Cowboys are stacked across the board. Zeke, the line, just really talented roster. I think, honestly, the Cowboys have the better roster.
Yeah, Grams built that team very well.
Yeah, and those players really developed. Zeke, 99. Leighton Vander Esch, 97. Byron Jones, 93. Amari Cooper. DeMarcus Lawrence. Really good players. It'll be really interesting to see who winds up making it back to the Super Bowl if one of those teams do, or who winds up being the number one seed just going forward. Just from what I saw, Sunday Squad is a dangerous dude to play. I've only played him the one time. But from that one game, that's one of those guys I do not look forward to playing going forward. We're going to switch topics here. We're going to talk about the SML Sweetheart and how the state of the Jacksonville Jaguars dump. Last season, he opened up week 1 by thumping 15-time SML champ, the GOAT. And everyone thought that he was on the fast track to winning the Super Bowl. Fast forward to this season. Fresh off a loss from the Texans, he's 4-5. His numbers are way down on offense. His defense is still pretty good. The team is pretty much there still. Jalen Ramsey, 99 overall. Josh Allen, 96. Miles Jack, 95. DJ Chark, 93. Seth Stocker, who's developed really, really well. Congrats to Dump on that. Obviously, the tutties he was throwing last season, 92 overall. What has happened to the Jaguars, or have you been following them at all? What's your opinion on it?
I haven't been following him as much.
Okay.
But I know in chat he said something about wanting to change up his playbook. I don't know if he ever did or if he did and that was part of the reason. But I know one thing he said when he was struggling on offense was he needed a new playbook. So that could always be something.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it's kind of strength of schedule. I mean, you look, week 1 is a 24-0 loss to the Colts. He beat Oshie 14-9 in a tough game week 2. Blew out the Dolphins 31-7. Lost to the Colts 31-17. Lost in a close game to Lawyer Killer 20-17. QB Stud beat him 24-17. He beat Tiny Titan or whatever he's going by, J-Rob, Chester Merlester, whatever he's going by, 24-10. The Vikings 35-28. Poor Paulie. Yeah, Coach Paulie not doing too well out. Well, he's 5-4. We'll talk about Paulie eventually. And then he just lost to the Texans. Kind of a favorable schedule going forward. Not a whole lot of great teams. He does have. PJ's 0-9.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't realize that PJ's. Is PJ on auto or what's going on with PJ?
I don't think PJ's on auto. I think he's just having a rough schedule or a rough time.
and Haas is on auto. Sending prayers
Yeah.
up to Haas with whatever his medical situation is. We won't make any
Yes.
jokes about that. He does have the Bills, which you said some couple players there, so it'll be interesting to see. I'm not really sure. Maybe it's something on offense. Maybe it's a game update. I'm not really. It looked like in the game I just played with him tonight. It looked like he still had all of his players. Didn't look like any major injuries or anything. So maybe it's a playbook. Maybe it's a game update, or maybe guys are just kind of catching on to what was going on last season with him feeding Sharp. Who knows?
Yep.
We'll see what happens going forward. And of course, I got a shout out, just a quick section here. The Thick Boy Club. Thick Boy Mike, we're talking about you. We're going to look at your season, what's going on. Always good friend of the program, Mike FML, the Carolina Panthers, 4-5. The team not doing too bad, not too shabby. He's sitting a few games back out of a wild card. He's at 4-5. Not, what can you say? The team, he's doing the best he can. His quarterback's only 80 overall. Mike, I love you. You just got to figure out what's going on in your offense.
Yeah.
Defense is pretty subpar, too.
Yeah.
Offense not too bad, though. Passing yards, he's doing 211, but then again, he's only averaging 17 points per game, so maybe the passing yards because he's always playing from behind.
Yeah, that's...
What's the key for Mike? Give Mike something positive. Your tone right now is bringing him down. Give Mike something positive for him to turn around his season.
I'll say what I said when he first chose the Panthers.
Yeah.
What I've been saying to the Panthers all last season: just feed CMC. He'll do the work. That's all you got to do.
You got to play within this game.
Yeah.
You got to play. You got to feed the X factors. He does have a pretty favorable schedule though. He's playing Oakland week 17. He's got NYT, who's got the same record he does. ZZ, the dick sucker, or whatever you want to call him, down at 2-7 right now. You've got Haas, who's on auto, as mentioned before. The Rams, who have not been good at all. Terrible two-step. The only good thing about the Rams this season has been Aaron Donald being the cheat code.
Yes.
Blunt Burner, 4-5. I mean, and then obviously the toughest game he has now against the Broncos, who are 6-2. So, Mike, we're really hoping if you play your cards right, take your checkdowns, feed Christian McCaffrey, play zone. I think from what I played you were trying to force too many corner routes and out routes on offense, and you weren't setting yourself up very well on defense. I know that those are cliche things to say, but on offense, don't be forcing so many outside throws. It was too predictable.
He can win out the rest of his schedule.
He very well could.
It's very possible.
It's definitely possible looking at, like I said, rambling off about his schedule. Anyway, we'll move on past that. Mike, I just wanted to mention it because you're my dude, so I'm looking after you. We got Coach Paulie. We'll talk about Coach Paulie here for a second. Really like Coach P, so we're going to talk about that. If you haven't checked his show out, he's got his podcast. Check it out. Really good team, though, with the Vikings. I like Stephon Diggs. I'm a huge Stephon Diggs fan, especially for Madden. He still has 190 overall. He made that big trade with the Colts, Naheem the Dream Hines, and he's in the top 3 for rushing right now with Hines. Hines has 910 yards rushing and 10 touchdowns. I think the touchdowns is the best in the league, if I'm not mistaken. What do you think about Coach Paulie? He's 5-4 right now. His offense, meh. His defense is only allowing 19 points per game. So Ben, but fuck it. We're not going to break. We're not allowing those points. Coach Paulie's my dude, 5-4, but he is currently, according to Daddy Leagues, the 10th seed. He's got some. Why the hell is he the 10th seed according to Daddy League? So really, he should be the 7th seed. Really, he should be the 7th seed looking in. Pretty plausible that he could take that 6th seed away from Lawyer Killer. What do you think?
I think if Paulie plays his cards right, I think it's very possible. What's the rest of his schedule look like? Do you have it in front of you?
Yeah, we got it right here. If we take a look, he is playing, Lawyer Killer right now, week 11. He's got the Colts, not a good matchup to play at any time. He's got Oshie, who is interception Jesus. He plays me week 14. He's got PJ week 15. He's got the Cardinals, and then he finishes up against Lawyer Killer. So really, he kind of controls his own destiny, especially if Lawyer Killer drops. Like if Coach drops a few and Lawyer Killer drops 1 or 2, he can control his destiny by winning or sweeping the Packers. So Coach Paulie, you gotta play good defense, bend but don't break. You're doing the right things. I haven't watched any of your games, but just looking at your stats, not doing too bad this year with the Minnesota Vikings. His quarterback, yeah, you got to change that, dude. All right, so he's got to change that. Zach Arita or Ariata, way too many. That TD to interception ratio sucks. 8 touchdowns, 16 interceptions, 26 sacks.
Oh,
Yeah, so he's doing it all with the running game, and he's got talent. He's got Philip Dorsett. He's got Stephon Diggs. Dalvin Cook's still there that he's not even using. Well, if you want to make a trade with the Texans, that'd be cool. Um, yeah, what do you think about Coach Pauly after you've heard the schedule?
like you said, he controls his own destiny. The only game I'm actually counting him out with
Yeah,
is Prime.
yeah. I count
That's
myself out against Prime. I've fucking given up
oh
on that.
yeah. Like when I played Prime, I went into it. I was like, this is either going to be a great game where we go to overtime, or I'm gonna get blown out. And I'd say I got blown out. I'd say the score doesn't show how
Right?
the game actually turned out. Prime kicked my ass that game,
He
but
does. Even in the games where the scores doesn't show it, he's still pretty much shutting you down.
yeah.
He's kind of like dad and the son wrestling out there. A funny story about Prime. If you guys want to
Oh
know how
god.
much of a bitch he really is, he was probably 4 or 5, and I don't know what was going on. I know I was out in the backyard with my dad. He was out there, and all of a sudden, like I'm talking to my dad, Prime comes up behind my dad and kicks him right in the nuts. It takes off running, screaming. Dude, one of the greatest memories ever. I had no idea why he did it. I'm pretty sure it was like unprovoked. Just went up there and pulled the whole Bobby Hill. I don't know you. That's my purse. And bah! Son, that
Prime,
was,
let us know. Let us know what you were
yeah.
thinking.
We got to have an SML to break down on that. Jesus. But anyway, I forgot what I was talking about.
We were talking about how
Oh,
we
yeah,
always
yeah.
count ourselves out.
Yeah, so Prime is, even though the score doesn't always show it, he's definitely the type to take you out there and just kind of spank you. Like, he's kind of giving you that stiff arm, like, no, son, this is my game to win. And it's just not good to play Prime. Like, that was a guy that everyone was writing off last season, and he was doing up the whole waking up the Echoes thing. That's from Notre Dame, by the way. And he says, oh, I got a chance. No one wants to be in the playoffs. Well, this is why no one wants to be in the playoffs. He's steamrolling the AFC right now, 8-1. He's doing it back in typical primetime fashion. But let's talk about a player that doesn't get very much credit. A guy that's consistently been winning all cycle long. He's really good on offense, has a really talented team. And well, what if I told you this guy's averaging 29 points per game? Fifth best in the league. Averaging 344 yards per game. Third best in the league. And,
How many of those are because of Angelo French?
all right, then, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Fair enough. But yeah, what do you think about the Bucks? And if you want to know about French, those 8 touchdowns are from Angelo French, along with 916 yards. Once again, though, the biggest problem for the Bucks is going to be the leg shackle at quarterback. And I'm going to look in this camera with my eyes all squinted right now. Some crawdad legs here. But 13 touchdowns, 14 interceptions.
Ugh.
But he's been able to overcome that due to his really dominant running game. 6-2 record right now for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What do you think about the Bucks and Noel Overlord?
I think Noel Overlord is a great player.
Absolutely.
No offense to ZZ, Mike, and NYT, but Noel should steamroll that division every season.
Yeah.
But when it comes towards the playoffs, he's kind of like Meats. He's kind of taken over Meats from that folding chair position, I would say, because like I think it was last year he was the 2 seed and then lost in the first round, I believe. So it's like he steamrolls the regular season, but can't really pull it together in the playoffs.
And he's developed Winston. Winston has an X factor. He's 91 overall. Devin White, the middle linebacker, 97 overall X factor. Don't forget about Mike Evans out there, X factor. Angelo French, X factor, 93 overall. X factor corner, 93 overall with Sean Murphy Bunting. And then when you want to talk about, and let's just look at it before I make a liar of myself. What's his division record right now? He beat the Panthers. So he swept them. He lost to NYT 42-17. So I was going to say maybe the reason why he coast through the regular season was he's just getting 6 wins in the division, but that's not the case. So I don't know. Maybe he's just not being challenged through the regular season. Maybe he's playing some jamokes and just not getting it done. But I don't know, dude.
I have no clue.
I don't know why Noel's not getting it done. We're gonna wish him the best. We're gonna wish him the best with it, though. I think he's a great team, and
I think he's one of the best players in the NFC.
yeah, absolutely. And it's just I don't know why he can't seem to go over the hump. A lot of people don't want to give him attention. He complains about not getting attention. I'm trying to give these guys the credit they deserve. You, sir, we tip our hats to you. You're having a fantastic season, a fantastic cycle with the Buccaneers. So keep it up. Let's look at some stats real quick before we close this bitch out. Who do you think is the leading receiver in the SML?
What kind of touchdowns, yards?
Yards. I'm just looking at daddy leagues right now, so I'm not really sure how to navigate this.
I don't know.
It's Paris Campbell of the Colts.
Of course it is.
With 986. What do you notice most in prime? Is it post routes that he's hitting? I assume he hit a lot of post routes and a lot of seams right there to Paris Campbell. Is that accurate assessment or no?
Yes, 100%.
You would think so? Okay.
I hate it because I know it's coming too.
That's the sad thing. Like when you play prime, like you see the plays coming, but how do you stop it?
You can't.
You know, that's the problem. And you know these plays are coming. There's just nothing you can do. It's like playing Oshie. Like I don't want to talk about it, but Roquan Smith, 20 interceptions. The closest is Malik Hooker and Adrian Amos Jr. with 8. You know that he's there, and people still throw to him. Why?
He covers every single route.
He covers every single read. Your first read's gone. Okay, well, here comes this guy. Fuck, I can't throw it to my second read because he's there. Oh, cool, my third read's coming across. No, Oshie's still there. He shut down 3 motherfuckers.
Yep.
And maybe it's just because you quit looking at 1 and 2 because he was already there. Maybe 1 and 2 got open again. But it don't seem that way. It seems like they run over to that right, they stay there, and then your left's coming on that. And I think I did this exact assessment last time on the dig route, and he took it away because that's exactly what he's done to me. But the Texans right now, Deshaun Watson has the slight lead over the 49ers yardage-wise. I can't look at touchdowns or anything from Daddy Leagues. It's kind of a piss-poor website. And a 3-headed race right now, and really Zeke is pretty close too. You got, who is the leading rusher in the SML right now?
Is it still Angelo French?
Negative.
No. Is it Naheem Hines then? I know we just talked about him.
No. This is a surprise, and it will shock you.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It's if you had a deck of cards, and they were stacked all the way against you, and you told everyone about that, and you were Raider fan 74, and you still led the SML in rushing to date with 972 yards with Tymone Greer for Oakland.
Wow.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
Beats his passing, because I've seen his passing.
He just needs to run the damn ball. I think that's what he's realizing is, hey, I can't fucking pass. This game sucks. And if you have a running back with over 92 speed, you're going to do some damage here in this Madden. He's doing it. Really good job by Raider fan. At least he's found something on offense. But that was kind of a shock to see that.
That is a huge shock.
What's
Raider?
Go ahead.
Oh,
go ahead.
Raider, next cycle, don't take the Raiders. Or if you think Josh Jacobs is your guy, just take a team with a running back and you're all set.
Yeah, the Madden is, heavily skewed towards the running game. They try to nuke certain plays, but it seems like every time there's always some type of glitchy little run that gets exploited, and people just love hammering the outside runs. It's that's the easiest way for you to break down your AI. It's the outside run. They just have piss poor angles, and now that you can't tackle from behind, you're fucked. So
I hate it so much.
Yeah, it's kind of unbelievable. So let's look at the Jets. We'll close out, talk about your team. I'm going to take a look at your schedule. We're going to talk about the fact you're 7-2 right now. You're averaging 28 points per game. You're only allowing 15, so pat yourself on the back for that. Your schedule, you've got Conk, the 49ers, 3-6 49ers. You got Dump at 4-5. You got the 1-7 Dolphins, the 2-7 Rams, the 7-2 Patriots, and you close out against the 5-3 Seahawks. Now, sitting here right now, What will your win-loss total be?
12-4.
12-4. And you're 7. So what are the two games that you're going to lose?
Um, Conk and QB.
Conk and QB. Who's
Yeah.
tougher out of those two teams? Because I always see Conk get in there. Shout out to Conk, though. I mean, for a guy that gets more shit than a toilet, like this dude seriously just keeps on, dude. He don't care. He don't change who he is. He's there every day in the chat. He's commenting all
Yep.
the time. He plays all of his games. He's honestly one of the most active members in SML history. So congratulations to Conk for hanging in there. Who's tougher between QB and Conk? I always kind of see Conk tell that he's better than QB, but what do you think out of those two guys?
I would say 100% Conk. Just because, like, like QB, I know what routes he's running, but for some reason with QB, I can stop his post routes and things like that. With Conk, I can't stop his corner routes, even though I know they're coming.
Spam all day, corner routes, post routes.
Yep.
He loves them. He don't care. He's gonna hit them. The fact of the matter is, the Bills are 7-1, and the only team to beat the Bills this season, the Houston Texans. The Bills
The upsets.
Yeah, I've been the upset king this year. The Bills are averaging 34 points per game, the best on offense, absolute best. Total yards 342, rushing yards 134, fifth best. Defense, he's shutting down the run. He's only averaging 37 yards per game. That's first, but then again, when you're putting up 34 points per game,
You're
people
just
are
chasing.
going to say no, we're not going to run it. So that's kind of unbelievable. The Bills are somehow silently, even though he's the loudest voice in the chat, silently at 7-1, and he just beat Meats. He beat the Meats 37-34
With his backups, because
yeah.
I know Hudgens isn't playing, and I think he also lost Hardman as part of the suspension. But I know he definitely doesn't have Hudgens.
So Conk knows his footballs.
Yep.
Conk knows a thing or two about this Madden. So Conk's a pretty dangerous player. Watch out, people. Conk was just in the Super Bowl. Do not write off the Conk.
Never.
You got any closing statements, sir? The floor is yours.
Like I said last time, Jets are coming for that playoff spot. I got faith.
Watch out for the Texans. We're trying to play upset alert. We're not going to make the playoffs because we fucking fall behind every season, a couple games. But we're going to try to ruin someone's season. Hopefully get a running back. Coach Pauly, if you want to get rid of old boy Dalvin Cook, let me know. I'm looking for a running back, so help me out. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was Rolling the Field, Rolling the League, Rolling the Field, whatever you want to call it. Rolls Royce, Field Journal 007. If this is first time checking it out, subscribe, comment below, message us, let us know what you want us to talk about. Check us out, daddyleagues.com/SML, daddyleagues.com/SMLP for the primer. I'm not sure if there's any spots, but Prime always likes to kick people, bring new guys in. Make sure you check your tweets. Use the @ for the Sim Madden League. That way we can retweet your tweets easier. Check this out. Share this video. Get all kinds of views up. Rolls and I just dedicated 28 minutes to you. Hope you have a great night. Stay safe from the Rona. It's getting bad out there, but we're not going to talk about that. It's a positive light. As I said, Batman the Dark Knight. Tonight is darkest before the dawn, and I promise you, the dawn is coming. Have a great night.